Solve this problem and I'll give you $100 million, Japanese CEO laughed. Maid's kid did, he was speechless. The mansion of Hiroshi Tanaka wasn't just a home, it was a monument to ego, genius, and excessive wealth. Built on a private hill overlooking Tokyo Bay, the glass and titanium palace glittered like a spaceship descending from the future. Every corridor whispered luxury, every room buzzed with technology far beyond the common citizen's comprehension. But to those who truly knew Tanaka, the most dangerous thing inside that mansion wasn't the biometric security or AI defense drones. It was Tanaka himself. Hiroshi Tanaka, the ruthless CEO of Tanaka Robotics, was a legend in Japan, not just for revolutionizing humanoid AI, but for his notorious belief that intelligence was destiny. He publicly claimed that society was divided into two types of people, those born extraordinary, and those born to serve them. And he made a sport out of proving it. Every Saturday, he hosted his infamous, genius gatherings, elite events attended by scientists, chess champions, tech moguls, and prodigies from around the globe. Guests came dressed in designer suits, clutching business proposals disguised as compliments. They didn't attend for the cocktails or the networking. They came for the cube. Placed at the center of Tanaka's marble hall, encased in bulletproof glass, was his masterpiece, a shimmering silver cube made of interlocking plates, inscribed with fractal designs that shifted when touched. It wasn't just a puzzle, it was a quantum-encoded lock, crafted by Tanaka himself. It reacted to pressure, temperature, sound, and even brainwave fluctuations. No one, not a physicist, hacker, nor AI, had ever opened it. With every attempt came the same challenge from Tanaka. Greater than, solve this problem, and I'll give you $100 million. Fail, and accept your place beneath me. People tried, they sweated, they trembled, they failed, and Tanaka laughed. On that particular Saturday, as the crowd circled the cube-like worshippers around a deity, something unusual caught his eye. A child, a boy, no older than 10, stood at the doorway, wearing an oversized second-hand hoodie and scuffed sneakers. His hair was slightly messy, and he clutched a worn sketchbook to his chest like a shield. Compared to the glittering guests, he looked like a speck of dust on a diamond. Standing beside him was Aiko, one of the mansion's maids. She bowed deeply, panic in her voice. "Forgive me, Tanaka-sama. I had no one to watch my son today. He will stay out of the way, I promise." Tanaka raised a hand to silence her. His lips curled. "So," he said loudly, making sure the entire crowd could hear, "even the help brings their children to witness greatness." A wave of smug laughter rolled through the room. The boy said nothing. He simply stared, not at Tanaka, but at the cube. Tanaka noticed. His grin widened. "Oh, you're interested, little one," he mocked. "Do you think you can solve my puzzle?" The boy looked up calmly. "Maybe." The room went still. Tanaka chuckled. "Very well. Solve this problem, and I'll give you $100 million. Everyone laughed again, except the boy. He walked toward the cube. The boy, Hikaru, approached the cube with none of the hesitation that had crippled world-renowned engineers before him. He didn't rush. He didn't fidget. He simply stood in front of it, studying it with the focused curiosity of a child inspecting a beetle on the sidewalk. No fear, no ego, just fascination. The adults exchanged puzzled looks. Some smirked, whispering bets. Aiko stood frozen by the wall, hands clasped in dread, silently begging her son with her eyes to step away before he became the next punchline in Tanaka's cruel show. But Hikaru raised his hand and lightly, almost affectionately, tapped the top of the cube. Clink. Then he tapped the side. Talk. Then again. Clink. Talk. Clink. A rhythmic pattern. The guests frowned. "He's knocking." One executive muttered. "Is he playing with it?" Another scoffed. Dr. Watanabe, the AI researcher who had attempted the puzzle dozens of times before, leaned forward with sudden intensity. "No, he's listening." Sure enough, Hikaru pressed his ear close to the cube as if it were a seashell holding secrets. His lips moved slightly, not in speech but in calculation. Then, softly, he began to hum. A single tone at first. Then two. Then three. A soft melodic progression, like a lullaby whispering through crystal. The room went silent. Even the machines embedded in the ceiling seemed to pause. Tanaka's smug expression faltered. Hikaru adjusted his pitch slightly, higher, lower, until suddenly, with a delicate click, the first layer of the cube rotated on its own. Gasps filled the hall. Someone dropped their champagne glass. Was that? A mathematician stammered. He triggered its resonance lock. Dr. Watanabe blurted out, he's detecting the cube's sound frequency algorithm, by ear. The second layer shifted, then the third. Hikaru followed the harmonic patterns instinctively, his humming weaving into a precise sonic code. His fingers rested lightly on the cube, not forcing it, but guiding it. He wasn't solving it like a puzzle. He was playing it like an instrument. Tanaka stepped closer, disbelief melting his arrogance into raw shock. How did you? Hikaru didn't answer. He was lost in concentration. Click. The final chime echoed through the hall. The cube unfolded, silently, effortlessly, like a blooming flower receiving morning light. Inside, resting on a velvet pedestal, was a glowing core, a chip engraved with Tanaka Robotics' crest. The master access key to $100 million in encrypted stock bonds. Everyone stared. The scientists, the investors, the staff hiding behind pillars. No one moved, except Hikaru. He turned around, blinking innocently, and said in the most casual tone imaginable. Is this the problem? Tanaka tried to speak, but the words, so used to being sharp, arrogant, commanding, failed him. His mouth opened, but only silence came out. Aiko stumbled forward, trembling. Hikaru, apologize at once. You shouldn't have. Applause erupted, first soft, then roaring. Not for Tanaka, not for the puzzle, but for the maid's son who did the impossible. Tanaka's empire had just been humbled, by a child. For a long moment, Tanaka stood frozen, as if his brain refused to process the reality in front of him. All eyes were on him now, not in admiration, but expectation. The great Hiroshi Tanaka, who had mocked countless geniuses, was now cornered by his own words. A promise is a promise. Slowly, he inhaled, straightened his back, and walked toward Hikaru. The boy watched him calmly, unafraid. Aiko, however, trembled as if expecting her son to be punished for humiliating a king. Tanaka stopped before the boy and did something no one expected. He knelt. A loud gasp rippled through the crowd. Aiko nearly collapsed. Hikaru, Tanaka said, voice steady but stripped of its usual arrogance. You have earned $100 million. Aiko burst forward. No, please, sir, this is too much. He is just a child, he didn't mean to. Tanaka raised a hand gently. This is not charity. He turned his gaze back to Hikaru. It is payment for solving what I declared unsolvable. Then he did the unthinkable, he bowed his head. In Japan, a bow from a superior to an inferior is no small gesture. It was not submission, it was acknowledgement. The room fell into reverent silence. Hikaru scratched his head awkwardly. Do I really get the money? Tanaka looked up. Yes, but before I process it, tell me honestly, what will you do with that kind of power? The boy didn't hesitate. I want to build robots, he said. Ones that help kids like me. Kids who don't have much. Aiko covered her mouth, tears welling. Tanaka stared at him. Shock, disbelief, and something else, grew in his eyes. Not toys, he asked. Not games, not luxury. Hikaru shook his head. Robots that clean, cook, and teach. For single mothers. For kids who are alone while their parents work. Like mom and me. It wasn't greed in his voice. It was clarity, a purpose. Tanaka slowly stood up. Then, he laughed, but not the arrogant laugh he was known for. This one was different, genuine, almost relieved. Then $100 million is not enough, he declared. The crowd gasped. Aiko almost fainted. Sir, please, I will give you $100 million, as promised, Tanaka continued, but I will also give you something far more valuable. He turned toward his stunned guests. From this moment forward, Hikaru is the youngest research partner of Tanaka Robotics. Chaos erupted, cameras clicked, investors whispered frantically. A child, a maid's child, had just been offered a position most billionaires would kill for. Aiko dropped to her knees in disbelief. Hikaru, what is happening? Tanaka extended his hand to the boy. Let us create together, Hikaru. Genius should not be born in towers, it should be discovered in unexpected places. Hikaru looked at his mother, then at Tanaka, then at the glowing core he had unlocked. He smiled. Okay. And with that single word, the hierarchy of the mansion shattered. The arrogant king had found his successor, not in a boardroom, not in a lab, but in the quiet brilliance of a maid's child.